The Malappuram Massacre, an unsolved mystery. Malappuram, a name forever linked to a horrifying massacre where 10 people were brutally murdered in the exact same manner, in an incident so precise and calculated that it seems impossible to have been repeated. The events date back to 2005 in the village of Kaladi, located in the Malappuram district of Kerala, India. It was early in the morning when Rahul Dev woke up as usual to visit the local temple for his morning prayers, a daily ritual he never missed. He usually met his brother Ajay there, and after prayers they would go together to visit their mother and have breakfast before heading to work. But on this day, Ajay was nowhere to be seen, which made Rahul uneasy. His brother was never late. After finishing his prayers, Rahul went to his mother's house to check on Ajay. Upon arriving, he found the house locked and the lights off, which meant that everyone was still asleep. Using his spare key, he unlocked the door, only to be met with a gruesome sight. His mother, Savitri Devi, lay lifeless on the floor, her body drenched in blood, her entrails spilled out. Rahul collapsed in shock, screaming for help as he ran through the house looking for Ajay. But when he found him, it was another nightmare. Ajay was murdered in the exact same way. His skull smashed, his abdomen cut open, his intestines pulled out, and blood covering the floor. Next to both bodies, a dead Indian dove was found. Hearing Rahul's screams, villagers rushed toward the house. Since it was early morning, many were already awake. But before they could process the horror, another chilling scream came from the house next door. Vikram Narayan's home, a well-known farmer in the village. His two daughters had woken up to discover their father's lifeless body. His skull was crushed, his abdomen sliced open, and his organs spilled out. Beside him, another dead dove. The terror escalated when the villagers found Vikram's wife, Pooja Narayan, murdered in the same horrific way. Their two young children, Sanjay and Anushka, had also been killed with identical brutality. Next to every corpse was a dead dove. The entire village gathered around the two houses, unable to comprehend what was happening. At that moment, the death toll had risen to 6 victims. Elsewhere in the village, Deepak Kumar, a middle school student, had spent the previous night at his grandmother's house. As he was heading to school in the morning, he decided to stop by his parents' house to collect some books. However, as he approached, he noticed a large crowd and overheard whispers about a massacre. Confused, Deepak hurried to his house and knocked on the door. No one answered. Taking out his key, he unlocked the door, stepping inside, only to be met with the most horrifying sight imaginable. His father, Rajiv Kumar, his mother, Naina Kumar, and his 2 younger siblings, Karan and Reshma, all lay dead in pools of blood. Their heads were crushed, their abdomens torn open, their organs spilled out. And as with the others, a dead dove was beside each body. Deepak collapsed, screaming in agony. Villagers rushed to the house, realizing that the body count had now reached 10 victims, all killed in the exact same manner, with a dead dove left beside each one. Fear gripped the entire village. People rushed back to their homes to check on their families, terrified that more victims would be found. Meanwhile, the police arrived at the scene, launching an investigation into what would become one of India's most horrifying and mysterious crimes. The investigation and initial findings. The first observations from the crime scene revealed: 1. All 10 victims were killed in the same way. Heads smashed with a blunt weapon, abdomens sliced open, organs pulled out, and genitalia mutilated, even the children. 2. A dead dove was found next to each body, and the most bizarre part? Each male victim had a male dove, and each female victim had a female dove next to them. 3. No signs of forced entry or broken locks were found, suggesting that the killer, Ashish, had entered through an unconventional method, possibly through the rooftops. 4. None of the neighbors heard any screams or sounds of struggle, leading to speculation that the victims were drugged before being killed. As forensic experts examined the crime scene, they discovered a single shoe on the rooftop of one of the houses. It was collected as evidence, raising hopes of identifying the perpetrator. Theories and speculations. The bizarre nature of the killings led to numerous theories among the villagers. Some believed the massacre was linked to occult rituals, as there were rumors that certain individuals performed black magic to unearth hidden treasures. The presence of doves and the mutilation of the victim's genitalia fueled this speculation. Others suspected organ trafficking, especially after the forensic report confirmed that the incisions were made with a precise medical instrument, most likely a surgical scalpel. These suspicions grew stronger when several villagers reported seeing an ambulance visiting the area a week before the murders. Allegedly, a medical team collected blood samples from some locals, claiming they were conducting a health survey for the Ministry of Health. However, when authorities contacted the ministry, they denied ever sending a medical team to Kaladi. The unexpected suspect. As public pressure mounted on the police to find the killer, authorities announced on the 5th day of the investigation that they had arrested Arun Gupta, claiming he acted alone. His photographs and confession were released, with police stating that he was a mentally unstable man who had committed the murders due to his psychological disorders. The trial and the shocking verdict, renowned defense attorney Dilip Raj took on Arun's case, insisting that he was innocent and had been tortured into confessing. He presented several arguments. The forensic report indicated that the crime required multiple perpetrators. It was impossible for one person to execute such a coordinated massacre alone. The shoe found on the crime scene did not match Arun's foot size. Medical evaluations proved that Arun was mentally stable, contradicting the police's claim that he was insane. In a shocking turn of events, the court acquitted Arun Gupta due to inconsistencies in the police reports, forensic findings, and his forced confession. An unresolved mystery. After his acquittal, Arun was sent abroad to the UAE, as authorities feared that enraged villagers would attack him. Years later, during an interview with a prominent journalist, Arun claimed he had been tortured and falsely accused, insisting that he had nothing to do with the murders. Now, more than 18 years later, the Malappuram Massacre remains an unsolved mystery. No one knows who committed the killings or why,